Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You thought because we had a 5-day break from 76ers basketball that your life was going to remain peaceful. Well, it's not, because the 76ers are back tonight against the Indiana Pacers at 7 o'clock. And, of course, we're streaming it live right here on YouTube. So tune in. I got some things to talk about today, man. Nick Nurse said some things about Jared McCain's role on this team that I want to talk about. It's just interesting, and I want you to give me your opinion also. And then Daryl Morey is still expected to be in trade talks toward the trade deadline. I think that's interesting. And the team finally admitted what Caleb Martin's injury actually is. All of that coming up on Run It Back Philly. But first, this is brought to you by RunItBackPhillyShop.com, where you can get the ever so sought after Maxie McCain 25 Make the Sixers Great Again t-shirts in 2 different colorways, and all of the Sickos merch, hoodies, hats, t-shirts, and everything. RunItBackPhillyShop.com, and I'm giving you 20% off. Promo code SICKOS20. And I'm working on sending out thank yous to every single person that orders on the website. Through the app that I use, I can send personalized thank you videos. So I'm working on doing that. So with every purchase, you also get a personal thank you video from yours truly right on the app. Thank you for all the support. Let's get down to business. All right. Oh, yeah. Give me 1 million likes, man. Got to get 1 million. Keith Pompey asked Nick Nurse, what is the ideal role for Jared McCain now that the Sixers are close to full health? And Nick Nurse said, I'm still not quite sure, but I think right now it looks like he's kind of an early scorer off the bench at the 2. Certainly will play him some at the 1. I could see that changing a little bit somewhere down the road. I'm so confused by this because it just seems like Nick Nurse still doesn't understand that Tyrese Maxey is best as a shooting guard. Jared McCain shows me all of the intangibles a point guard should have. Some people keep coming to me with this, he doesn't set up the offense thing, or somebody said Kyle Lowry is the only guard on this team that can, air quotes, set up the offense. What the freak does that mean, dude? What is setting up the offense? What do you mean? Jared McCain runs a pick and roll to perfection. He reads the defense. He facilitates the ball from the top of the key. He can catch and shoot. Somebody called him a shoot-first guard, and that's why he shouldn't be a point guard. Just like, I think you guys are stuck on this, traumatized or brainwashed from what you watched from Ben Simmons for about 5 years, and you think that the point guard has to be a player who can't score. Just because a point guard has a elite scoring ability doesn't make him not a point guard, and doesn't mean some other point guard should be running point because they can't do that. You see what I'm saying? Kyle Lowry sets up the offense, yeah, because he can't score, bro. You know what I mean? Jared McCain can score. He can also run point guard. It doesn't matter, though, because Nick Nurse doesn't understand it. Nick Nurse seems to think that Jared McCain is a shooting guard, and he's going to come off the bench at the 2. Certainly will play him some at the 1. In my personal opinion, Jared McCain is the only actual point guard on your entire roster. But who am I? Who am I? I'm just a guy in his podcast studio that he built in his attic. I'm not an NBA head coach, so it is what it is. But it just annoys me that I just don't feel like this coach can figure out the most simple things. But as long as Jared McCain is getting 25 to 30 minutes a game and he's finishing in lineups when he's having a good game, I'm fine with. Last game against the Chicago Bulls, he was in the finishing lineup, the lineup I'm talking about. And really, if you look at the lineups over here on NBA.com and you just go to Sixers 5-man lineups and hit the plus minus, small sample size because we haven't been healthy, but when we are healthy, the lineup that finished the Chicago Bulls game, Paul George, Joel Embiid, Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, is a plus 13. It's the highest plus minus of any lineup the 76ers have run this season. This lineup was only active against the Chicago Bulls. We haven't had this lineup in the first 22 games of the season because of health issues. But this lineup is damn unstoppable, bro. It just is. because Tyrese Maxey, you know what he can do when he has space on the floor. Joel Embiid, of course. Paul George is the elite shot creator that he is, makes it difficult on the defense. Kelly Oubre, the utility guy, does his thing. And then you add in the point guard, Jared McCain, who can also give you a fucking 30-piece if you blink your eyes. It's an unstoppable lineup, but Nick Nurse doesn't want this lineup to start games for some reason. If you want to go minimum games played, the two best lineups with a minimum of 4 games played together are Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, KJ Martin, Yabusele, and Kelly Oubre. And Yabusele, Tyrese Maxey, KJ Martin, Ricky Council, and Jared McCain. So the combination of Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, of course, is really good. And the combination of Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain with some athleticism on the floor and KJ Martin, Ricky Council is very good also. But again, I'm just a guy in his attic. What do I know? Nick Nurse is going to do what Nick Nurse is going to do. One more thing. Joel Embiid and Paul George are not even listed on the injury report. Not even questionable. Are the 76ers finally healthy and finally going to string together some wins? I hope so. On the injury report is Caleb Martin. After 5 days off, Caleb Martin is still not playing, and the 76ers have finally called it a right shoulder impingement. I said at the beginning of the season, this guy's clearly hurt. His arm doesn't work. He's shooting the ball like he's throwing a 20-pound medicine ball, like he's throwing a damn kettleball. You know, what is this? He's clearly hurt, but he was trying to play through it. Then he would say things like, I'm dealing with some things. Everybody's dealing with some things. No, are you hurt or are you not? Sixers finally admit Caleb Martin has a right shoulder impingement. Last time I heard that was the legendary Markelle Fultz situation. So we'll see if Caleb Martin, is ruined forever like Markelle Fultz was. And that just seems to be what happens when you put on a 76ers jersey. Adem Bona is out with left knee tendinopathy. He banged his knees with somebody in the game that he was playing in, and he's still out, which is kind of concerning for Adem Bona's health. It's not concerning for the Sixers because Nick Nurse wouldn't play him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. No other Sixers are listed. That is a great sign. I think again tonight we're going to get Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. No Caleb Martin, but Kelly Oubre, KJ Martin, maybe Ricky Council gets some minutes. Yabusele, Andre Drummond at backup center. We'll see how it looks, man. The Pacers aren't a good defensive team either. So another opportunity for the Sixers to get in the win column. Now, before we get out of here, there remains an expectation that the Sixers will be active as the trade deadline approaches, despite the team's disappointing start, per Tim Bontemps, senior NBA writer for ESPN. Sources told ESPN that Philadelphia's rough start hasn't changed the expectation that the 76ers will be active. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey always is in the weeks leading up to the trade deadline. The 76ers signed KJ Martin to a 2-year, $16 million deal that was built to be moved, and they have several first-round picks to float in deals. Now, as much as I like how well KJ Martin has been coming around as a defender and an offensive threat also, the 76ers are basically 100% going to trade him because they gave him a balloon contract. KJ Martin is not a $16 million player. He's just not. He's not going to, they're not going to keep him and pay that $16 million for somebody who offers the specific skill set that KJ Martin offers, which is defense and athleticism and not a whole lot of offensive game. They're not going to pay him the $16 million. It was built to be moved. It's going to happen. No matter how good KJ Martin plays, he's going to get traded. I think we need to understand that. And, if he continues to improve and looks good the way that he looks so far, that's even better for the package that you could get while throwing KJ Martin and some picks in for a Dorian Finney-Smith or Dennis Schroeder or the dude out in New Orleans that we were talking about yesterday. So there's that. The beginning of the season, I thought the 76ers were tanking. I thought there was no hope and no chance at all. It seems like they've finally gotten healthy, and it seems like they are going to probably string some wins together here and make a move at the trade deadline. And we'll see what happens. I think that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be live for Sixers Pacers at 7 p.m. right here on Run It Back Philly. Thank you for all the support. Good to see you guys again. I'll talk to you soon.